I think it's good to have ambition, but you asked what is holy ambition is ambition towards kingdom things. And so I think first of all you need to define what are you ambitious about. Are you ambitious about something because it's what you want and desire, or is it a holy ambition? Is it desiring the things of God, the things of His kingdom? And so I'd say that is the start one. If you want to keep it alive, you need to make sure it's in line with God's wills and ways and wants for His world and for your part in it. And then how to keep it alive. I guess like the question behind that is, what happens if it's waning? And so how do you were on fire, and maybe you've been at something like Focus and you've kind of thought like, oh, this is amazing, but give it a month, give it 3 months, and it's cold, and like Focus is a distant memory. What do you do then? I think it's helpful to have like realistic goals in your faith, in terms of what I mean by that is, when you come away to something like this, you can sometimes think, right, I'm going to change the world. Like, we're going to get up every day at 4:30 and we're just like intercede for the nations, and 3 days later you're not doing it, and I think you can kind of feel like, I've failed. Whereas I think if you think, what's like 1 or 2 shifts over a lifetime of becoming more like Jesus today, what are the 1 or 2 shifts, or this summer, what's the one thing that I can take away with me to kind of keep that ambition for the things of God alive? So I'm going to commit to show up to my church's prayer meeting. Great goal, quite achievable, and that will help you kind of keep in the flow of like what's God saying and moving in our community. We were talking about perseverance, that Hebrews 12 is run the race with perseverance, but it's also say throw off all of the things that entangle you and set you back, and throw off all the disappointments and the pain of that. Not that pain isn't real or doesn't exist, but it's kind of saying, but if it says focus on Jesus, if you focused on Him, if you fixed your eyes on the author and perfecter of your faith, well then I actually don't think you can have setbacks if you've done that, because the only goal is, I'm going to focus and aim and keep aiming, even in the midst of this hard time, even in the midst of this setback. I'm going to continue to focus and aim on Jesus. Where are you in this mess? What are you doing in this mess? And so I think for a newer Christian, why is this happening is an understandable question. For a more mature Christian, I guess the dream and the aim is that they say, okay, Lord, in this, what are you doing? What are you shaping and forming in me? So I said the mark of the kingdom is suffering, because pain is primarily how we are formed and transformed. And so it moves it from, why am I not seeing it, to, okay, God, you're still with me. I guess what I think of when someone says, oh, I'm like this, is like almost like I've sort of lost sense of what's real, what's right, what's kind of, where am I going, where should I be going? I guess you've slightly lost a vision for your life, slightly lost a vision for the kingdom of God around you. And so I'd say, we'll come back to that place, we were saying, come back to that place of abiding, and re-envision, like try and recast a vision for this particular season of your life. And so I might not be doing the thing that I wanted or dreamt about doing. I might not be doing it with the people that I thought I was going to be doing it with. I kind of don't feel like I'm being used enough by God and His kingdom, whatever that disillusion might be. I think we'll then recast the vision for, like, in this time, in this place, with the people that I am around, what's the vision for now? And so, again, the Hebrews verse, to fix your eyes on Jesus, like He's the vision, and He's not waiting for you to work it out so that you can then do the next thing. He's saying, like, I'm with you in all things, and at all times, fear not, I've overcome the world. William Booth set up Salvation Army right towards the end of his life. He gave a one-word sermon, and this was given. He wasn't able to make the Salvation Army conference, but they read it out on his behalf. and his one-word sermon was like conjuring up all of the like wisdom and kind of discernment and like discipleship that he had been thinking about, and service that he had been thinking about for the Salvation Army. His one-word sermon was others. And so if it is your disillusionment because you've kind of turned in and you've become a bit too focused on what am I getting out of this, what's in it for me and my life, a great way of reversing that is saying, okay, well, I'll focus on others. And yes, you avoid burnout, and yes, you need to be sensible about that. But how can you, that's a great way of making sure that your ambition is in line with kingdom values. If it's about serving and giving up some of your privileges and sacrificing yourself to then seek the good of your neighbor or the good of others. I think when you feel like God isn't doing anything, or there's like a lack of breakthrough, I think two good bits of news. One, you can actually do things about it. You can pray, you can take that back to God. He likes your groaning and your moaning, and he likes your doubt. He wants to receive that. Second thing would be is invest in some relationships. Make sure that there's a few people ahead of you who have maybe gone through this before and they can give you wisdom. And then like a couple of people beside you who you're journeying and kind of contending for and showing compassion towards, like accountable with, and receive that wisdom and support there. And then I'd say continue investing in others, like have people that you then kind of, hey, I haven't got this all sorted out and I'm struggling through this too, but I can still support. I think you're still giving, you're still kind of being useful rather than getting stuck.